this is an absolutely fascinating story here that I have to report on because it's so crucial. So, as you guys know, all the other Democratic candidates have been competing with Bernard Sanders in trying to be the most progressive, and they hopped on the bandwagon in an attempt to save face as well as try to obviously, advance their campaign by saying, we're not going to take any corporate money, we're not going to take any PAC money, any of that. So, here's an expose, a really good report by Lee Fang from The Intercept. This article's headline: Democratic 2020 candidates promised to reject lobbyist donations, but many accepted the cash anyway. So here's what it says. It says, Beto O'Rourke is one of the candidates who had pledged to run a campaign financed only by regular people. Quote, not PACs, not lobbyists, not corporations, and not special interests. His latest filing, however, shows that he accepted donations from a federal utility company lobbyist and a top Chevron lobbyist in New Mexico. Senator Kamala Harris has also collected donations from registered corporate lobbyists in South Carolina, New York, and California. Several technology lobbyists from San Francisco have given to her campaign. Another Harris donor, Robert Crow, from the firm Nelson, Mullins, Riley, and Scarborough, is a federal lobbyist who has worked to influence Congress on behalf of pipeline firm EQT Corporation and Alphabet, the parent company of Google. So Senator Cory Booker similarly announced he would issue campaign donations from federal lobbyists, and his campaign appears to be making most of the caveat about, quote, federal lobbyists. Though he has returned donations from lobbyists registered under the federal government system, Booker has taken half a dozen donations from lobbyists registered under state and municipal lobbyist registration laws, but who do not appear in federal disclosures. So, what that tells you is Cory Booker specifically, in Cory Booker's case, he's trying to do a loophole of like, oh, I say federal lobbyists. And we saw that in Kamala Harris's email. She took that out too. She specifically put federal lobbyists after just having lobbyists in there because this is a loophole that they're trying to exploit. These are how crafty these little fucking politicking douchebags are. So, it's very interesting. It also says the flow of lobby cash comes in many forms. Some comes from registered lobbyists, others from individuals who are clearly lobbyists but have chosen not to register with the federal system rife with loopholes. So it says, take for instance Jay Carney, the former White House press secretary under President Barack Obama, who took a job as the vice president for worldwide corporate affairs at Amazon in 2015. Carney, the new campaign disclosure showed, donated to Booker, O'Rourke, Harris, and South Bend, Indiana Mayor Pete Buttigieg. The Carney donations, however, would not technically violate the lobbyist money ban, depending on how it is read, because he is not a registered lobbyist. So here is another loophole that they're exploiting. And notice, who are the candidates that he donated to? Booker, O'Rourke, Harris, and Buttigieg. All corporate, sellouts. So obviously those are people that we see. It also says some donations clearly crossed the threshold. The FEC disclosures show that O'Rourke has also received money from Amy Thomas, a federal lobbyist for the American Public Power Association, as well as from Patrick Killen, a registered state lobbyist for Chevron in Mexico. Here, also, it says, Booker appears to have closely followed his no federal lobbyist rule. The campaign revealed on Monday that it had returned a $1,000 from Kristen Ludecki, a federal lobbyist for PSEG, the large utility company in New Jersey. But the Booker campaign continues to embrace corporate lobbyists that register under state and municipal registration guidelines. His campaign received campaign funds from multiple lobbyists working at Mercure Public Affairs, Dennis Marco, a local healthcare and pharmaceutical lobbyist, and from Dennis Colnan, a New Jersey lobbyist closely tied to the Norcross family political machine. Here's the bombshell. Okay, you want to hear this bombshell? It says the Harris campaign received the most registered lobbyist donations of any Democratic presidential campaign that has said it would not take the cash. The long list of state and municipal registered lobbyists giving to the Harris campaign includes Licia Eve, a Verizon lobbyist in New York, Alex Tork, an Airbnb lobbyist in San Francisco, Alexander Clemens, who represents AT&T, Cliff Berg, registered lobby on behalf of Novartis, Cemex, and Visa, Daryl Campbell, a South Carolina lobbyist for Pfizer, Jewel, HCA Healthcare, and Duke Energy. Jewel, that's funny. Emily Giske, a former Democratic National Committee superdelegate who lobbies for Cigna, IBM, and Google. Jennifer Wada, a charter school lobbyist. And Justin Ross, a Maryland construction and real estate lobbyist. Also says other lobbyists who gave to Harris fall into the gray area of unregistered influence peddlers. William Castleberry is not technically registered, but he's an influential Facebook lobbyist who oversees the Menlo Park, California company's expensive state-level government affairs operations. He gave $2,700 to Harris. Matthew Gerst, who gave $500, falls in a similar territory. He leads the regulatory lobbying for CTIA, a trade group for wireless telecom companies such as Verizon and AT&T, but is not registered to lobby. So this is this is very interesting because obviously she's actually taken the most from registered lobbyist donations, despite saying that she wasn't going to take any. And I had seen a tweet from somebody who showed the email difference between Kamala Harris before and now, because before she was like, I'm not taking any lobbyist money, and then she switched it to saying federal lobbyists. Now Booker apparently is doing the same thing. I don't know if he ever changed the verbiage or not in his emails, but here we have something very interesting. So this is from RRev305, hashtag elect the Bird. He says, Beto drops, quote, no lobbyists from his fundraising emails a day after the Intercept reports he took lobbyist money. So here's what this says. So it shows the Beto emails. So it says, one day we asked you to donate so Beto could build the biggest grassroots campaign this country's ever seen. No PACs, no lobbyists, all people. Remember, this campaign solely funded. We are raising money online, not accepting a dime from PACs, lobbyists, corporations, or special interests. No lobbyists. There's more. No lobbyists, no lobbyists, no lobbyists. This article drops. What happens? We are 100% funded by people, not a dime from PACs, corporations, or special interests. We will never be corrupted by the influence of big money. You are being funded by special interests. Special interests and lobbyists go hand in hand. So when a lobbyist from Chevron is donating to your campaign, you are corrupted on. You're being funded by special interests. That special interest being big oil. Yes, the oil industry, which is massive, huge fossil fuel industry, massive, huge. So yeah, you are. You should take that out too. You should scrub that as well as, technically, I mean, if you're getting money from a Chevron lobbyist, also it's kind of taking from a corporation, dude. So you should probably take that out too. But this guy he took it out. He literally took it out from his email. So this is a really good expose that was done, and it goes to show you how much these guys are frauds. Now, Beto O'Rourke, bet on my stork, whatever you want to call the guy. He is somebody who has been really shady. So I don't know if I mentioned it in this video, actually. I might have talked about it in my video I just did about Ben Shapiro. But Beto O'Rourke actually included $300,000 in his raising money, which is only general election money. So David Dole from the Rational National actually did a really good video about this, because what he did basically is he was given $300,000. He may actually have more, but his general election funds, that's only allowed to be used in a general election. That means if he is to secure the nomination. Bernie Sanders didn't put any money of that kind, and it's also super suspect and obvious. What they did is a political move, a political calculation, in which he basically said that he's going to. That's why it took so long, because they were trying to concoct and politic and find a way to, manipulate the headlines in the news and everything. And so you add $300K of dollars that, oh look, wow, coincidentally you're above Bernie Sanders' high, amazing numbers. Wow, gee, I wonder how that happened. Well, it's because you purposefully put GE funds that are not able to be used until if you hit the general election. So Beto is a complete fraud. Kamala Harris and Cory Booker, also very big frauds. Cory Booker, very obviously, just frauding it out. I mean, Cory Booker, he's trying to do the thing of like, what difference does it make if it's a state registered lobbyist or a federal lobbyist? Who cares? They're still lobbyists for special interest. And I don't want my presidential candidate to be corrupted by those special interests. I don't give a shit if it's municipal level, state level, federal level. It doesn't matter. I don't care. I don't care if it's on, whatever. It doesn't matter what level the lobbyist is registered at. If they're a lobbyist, don't take money from them. And so, Kamala Harris has been doing a lot of big dollar, big money donation, donation bundlers. She's been going to these big dollar fundraiser dinners where you go to where a bunch of rich douchebags come together and they convene, and then they, pull out fat stacks of cash, write some big checks to donate to campaigns because they've got a ton of money. And then when you get a bunch of rich people in the same room and you get all those rich people to donate a lot of money, you're going to have a lot of cash made. So Kamala Harris especially is a fraud for this. And I hope that I was able to get this information out to you because this is very important, super important information.